Yo, what's popping all you thrillers? This is your boy Will the Thrilla from the Villa, and today, guys, I'm starting a new series called Behind the Scenes, and pretty much for today, like it says in the title, Behind the Sandwich, this is about when I worked at Arby's. Now, every episode isn't always going to be from when I was working somewhere. It's just going to be pretty much secrets behind something, so behind the scenes, so behind whatever it is, there lies a lot of secrets. And so I'm going to tell you different secrets on basically how to get free things, if you're working there, how to survive, how to get along with people and learn stuff quicker, and how to get hired really easily. Pretty much. So let's get into it. Also, guys, before we move on, click that like button down below, comment down below, and subscribe. And guys, let's get into it. So first things first, you all should know that I worked at Arby's about 3 or 4 months, give or take. But it was about 3 or 4 months, 3 at the least, 4 at the most, pretty much. 4.5, whatever it is. It was like August to November, something like that. But anyway, moving on. The perfect way to get in, though, first off, secret to get in is have confidence. Confidence raises how people see you. It raises their, basically whether they're impressed with you or not, I guess. That's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, you know. But another thing to do with confidence, body language, talk with your hands. Talking with your hands makes you seem intelligent. So, when you talk with your hands, people will pay attention more. That's more of a visual for them to see, you know? So you talk with your hands, especially have your hands open. People with their hands open are more likely, to be trusted, because that shows that you're trustable. If you have your hands like this, you just, that sounds like you're either, that looks like you're either angry or just you're holding something back, just you're not worthy of being trusted, or just people don't want to trust you. They're less likely to trust you, but you seem like a more trustable person if, you open your hands more. Have your hands open, kind of like you're asking someone to dance, I guess. Have your hands open kind of like that, but, talk with your hands, don't block them out, don't block people out, have your hands open. Show up early, definitely 10 to 15 minutes early is a good one. For the interview. Dress nicely. I think over-preparing in any interview circumstance is pretty, a foundational truth in how to, get the job at Arby's is over-prepare. I knew basically the whole history of Arby's at the time when I tried to apply, and I ended up getting the job. Of course, I can't really... It's hard to tell a secret of the interview process unless you view every interview, because I don't really know typically how they do the interviews, or if they just, if I was a special interview, they did this one a different way, or they tried something new that they didn't do before. Another thing is be open. Be open, schedule wise, but you may have a manager too, like I had, not the one who hired me, but you may have a manager who actually, we had a manager who basically, people would try to seem like they had an open schedule or whatever, and then she was like, is there some day you want off or whatever? Do you go to church, blah, blah, blah. She's trying to be nice with them and say, hey, take 2 days off. Only work 5 days a week. I think that's partly them trying to push part-time, which if you signed up for part-time, don't surprise them and say, oh, I can work full-time. They want part-time, specifically, because sometimes they just don't, it's not that, we may only have time here and here for this. Oh, you can work all this? Oh, we're glad that you can work all that. No, it's not like that. Sometimes, they're trying to save more money or whatever it is, so they want you specifically to work part-time. If it were a bigger place where I'm working now, which is kind of like a mega store, and I'm not going to reveal where I'm working now until I quit, really, and then that'll be another video, I guess, but with Arby's, it's kind of like any fast food. They don't hire a bunch of people. Otherwise, if they had more than enough people wouldn't be getting enough hours. So just think about it. If you sign up for whatever, don't surprise them. Go in and do what you're supposed to. So, and also show up like dressed nice. You can have an undershirt too if you want. You don't really have to, but yeah, for guys, if you aren't gonna have an undershirt, make sure you do shave a little bit. That way your hair doesn't show. You know, it just looks a little bit nicer. Make sure your beard is trimmed. Don't have long hair like I do right now. Of course, I'm not applying for jobs right now, so I mean, I'm looking for jobs, but I'm not like applying for jobs. So like, since I'm not having to do interviews right now, I don't. My hair is whatever. I will cut it, but make sure your hair looks nice, beard. This is just tips for guys specifically in terms of how to dress. Girls, it's different obviously, so I'm not going to speak on that. You can do your own research on that or go to a different video, but that's how you do it, and show up 10 to 15 minutes early, like I said. Another thing is you have to, in order to find the manager, at least what I had to do, I had to talk to the people working there, and I was like, hey, is your manager here? I'm here for an interview. And like, be honest, you know. And also another thing that leads me to another thing. Be honest. Yeah, the manager won't be waiting out there a lot of times, sometimes, and you might not know who the manager is. So, but if they have like a book and they're writing stuff down, or papers and they're writing stuff down, that's most likely the manager. In case you haven't had a job before, or just you don't know it all when you get there, that's probably who the manager is. But they might not be waiting out there, so you might need to go talk to someone who's working there at the counter, and most likely it won't be busy. They'll schedule your interview sometime when it's not busy at all. So usually the people at the counter won't be busy, and if they're doing their job, then they should be available to help you. So anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much tips for getting the job. And like I said, you need to show up 10 to 15 minutes early. You can't show up late. You can't show up on time. That's the same for the job. Because as the saying goes, in case you all didn't know it, or you all are just younger than me, too young to know it, like, if you're not early, you're late. Pretty much how it goes. And kind of that moves me to working inside the job. Not just getting the job, but now it's secrets to keeping your job, pretty much. So show up 10 to 15 minutes early all the time, because there's things you got to set up. You sometimes got to check condiment stands, check that. You have to have your manager set up your till, which that's on them. If they're late to doing that, that's on them. That's not on you. So if they blame you for that, don't take it as, anything, that you did wrong. If it was on them and you showed up, even, showing up like 20 minutes early and you helped, like, then that's good enough. Like, because you got to clock in. You can't just show up on time, because especially if you're opening, they're depending on you to show up there and do your job and be able to take orders, because you're the one opening. And especially like Arby's isn't as pressured, at least the one I worked at. It wasn't like, some coffee shops that are kind of smaller coffee shops where, oh, you're the only one opening, and like, the shop doesn't open until you open the shop. It's not like that. There's managers who open it up, but they need people to take orders. So show up 10 to 15 minutes early, because I had a person who I worked with and I didn't really have any trouble with that in my job when I worked there, but there was a person who would always show up late or whatever, and he didn't last very long. He either got fired or he just quit. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, so always like another thing to kind of be safe, because this is kind of why I quit my job. It's it's nothing that I did wrong, but it actually happened to all of us. So when they go through the demonstration and, you see all this different stuff on the computer, like, yes, it'll be a long time. Going through all the stuff, all the knowledge you need to know about the computer. Believe me, every job does it. So if you haven't had a job, be prepared to go through a bunch of boring paperwork and computer work. But anyway, when they say you might get robbed, you could actually get robbed. I'm not joking, because like I almost laughed when I saw it. Like, I was like, are we really gonna rob? Like, they'd really rob a fast food place? Yes, people will rob a fast food place. They are that stupid. But anyway, and I have a right to say stupid, because if I'm threatened in the face with a gun, I feel like I can say anything that I want to, and that's very violent. But that's kind of why I quit, is because of that. I quit a month later. But always be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you're listening. Looking around. Don't look paranoid. Like, don't look freaked out unless you have a right to be. You have some suspicion about someone or something, but keep a visual. Be alert, pretty much. Because literally, I think I could have stopped whatever happened if I told my manager or whoever, oh yeah, there's someone pacing out back, I don't know what they're doing, but it doesn't look normal. We could have avoided the robbery right there. We could have locked the doors because now we do that. And good communication too. That also kind of helps against that. And we didn't have cameras in the back, which was management's fault and whoever's fault. But if you just stay alert, literally you can dodge probably 50% of the stuff that happens to your store, whether it's a robbery, whether it's whatever. Bad customers, like customers who just complain or whatever. I mean, not just complain, but like be alert. Make sure like you're paying attention to them and giving them your full attention. Sure, there would be customers who are just mean to you anyway, cuss you out or whatever. I've never had anyone cuss me out, but just be alert. Be alert. It saves you in a lot in different parts of the job. So always be alert and always be on time because they have to set up your till. They have to do all this stuff. And they count on you to do a lot of stuff for very little pay, which is probably the big downside of it. But, yeah, always be friendly. Always smile. Oh my gosh, that's a tip in an interview that's a tip for interviews that I didn't say, but you always need to smile. Be confident. Your confidence will show. You have to be enthusiastic about it. Like, don't be like, oh, yeah, I want this job. Like, they want someone who wants the job. You can't just, like, you have to have confidence about it. You have to smile, and when you're in the job, like smile and greet people, make them feel at home, and literally things can go so much smoother. Another small tip that basically happened to me one time is I guess I was getting mad during it. Well, another thing, try to keep your cool. But the thing I was gonna say is that like when you're exchanging money with them, and they're paying, don't take their money from them. It can be so easy to do it. I promise you, it's so easy to do it. But like, it's not even you're trying to do. It's an accident. But just be mindful. When you're when they're giving you money to pay, like don't take it because I had a customer get mad at me for that, and yeah, you want to be careful with that. Um, but something that's a good word of advice to know and kind of leads me into basically tips for how to get free things or tips to know about respecting people who work there. Um, another thing is, yeah, good communication and having good communication, particularly at my Arby's, it was really easy to call off days because most of the people who work there, besides maybe a few people, were adults, parents. And so, like, they kind of understood, like, when I wanted to do a college thing, and, like, they liked working. There was one who used to be a manager who didn't want to be a manager anymore, who they kept trying to make her a manager, but she didn't want to be a manager. But anyway, she would always be like, so like nice and like trying to like, take my shift if I needed to take off for whatever. And like, as long as she wasn't over 40 hours, they're pretty, like I said, if they want you to work part time, they're not going to let you work full time because they got to keep their money they got to keep track of their money. But, yeah, no, good communication can lead to you being able to call off stuff easier. So, and be willing to take days for other people as well. That way, they know they're not just gonna take a day for you and know that you're never gonna take a day for them. Like, be willing to do that. I did that for sure, tons of times. And then when the time came for me to take people's shifts, like for me wanting other people to take my shifts so that I could go do something, they were willing to do it. But yeah, no, what I was gonna say is that what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I actually forget where I was going originally before I said what I said about getting, um, before I said anything about getting someone to take your shift. Was that you can actually get tips at this place, and a lot of people don't know that. But they don't have a tip jar out, but we're allowed to take tips. We are, and we very appreciate it if you do give us tips. But if you're working with someone else, you do have to share the tip with them. I think that's just kind of implied, but you do have to. Um, but literally, yeah. So if you just yeah, so I think that's that. I don't. I don't know if there's anything else for secrets on how to like stay in the job, but anyway. But anyway, the next thing, and I'm sure what a lot of you want to know, is how do you get free food? How do you get like that free sandwich? How do you get that free fries? Like whatever. And the real honest truth is it depends on which one you go to and if you know people really well. If you know them really well, like I know you really don't get in trouble for like there's no real benefits, by the way. Secret, there's no real benefits to working there. You don't get free food. Well, you get some sort of a discount, but you don't get to eat there while you're working there, which you should. I feel like all fast food should do that, but they don't. Pretty cheap if you ask me. One of the reasons why I quit, but no, like if you come in there, honestly, don't eat all your food, but like if you take a bite out of it and you complain about something, you'll get a new sandwich. I can promise you that. Like we just want you out of our face. Not to sound mean, but we just want you out of our face. We don't want you like we've already had a bad day. We've already been working. We're already sweaty and tired. We just want you out of our face so that we can relax a little bit. So we'll give you something free. Not all coupons are gonna work there. Trust me. If they're expired, they're not gonna work. So don't try that. And don't try to cheat us out of money. Don't try to exchange fake dollar bills because that won't work. But really, I mean, if you're lucky to get a coworker who knows, if you're lucky to get a employee who knows basically you and is really nice and just is really good, like in good terms with the company and just everything, then if you're nice to them, they might just give you something for free. Literally, like that's all you have to do. You just have to be nice, and you could even tip them too, and they'll be even more nice to you. They might even help you get a job there if you wanted a job. What else? Yeah, honestly, you just keep a good relationship with the people there who are serving you. Like, we don't have to keep your food clean. We don't have to, like, there could be hair in your food, depending on which one you go to, who you're being mean to. Like, literally, we're humans too. So, all we're asking you to do is to just be nice to us. And if you, also another thing, if you think you can sneak in with a beer, you really can't. We notice that stuff. Like, we have cameras, I can promise you that. Any Arby's with any sense besides mine before I started working there has sense. They will have cameras everywhere, except the restrooms. But, trust me, we know what you're doing if you're in the restroom for that long, and you know what I'm talking about. There's different things that could be if you're in the restroom for too long. But if you're in the restroom for too long, we know. We know. If you're trying to pull something funny, we will know. Trust me. We're not stupid. Like, we can tell when you're trying to do something, that could be harmful to other customers or us, or is just plain out inappropriate to do in public. And you're doing whatever in the restroom. Like, we know what you're doing. So, don't try to pull that past us. We know what you're doing. And yeah. And just because you're in the parking lot doesn't mean you can get away with whatever else either. Like, there was someone who legit OD'd in the parking lot. Like, we're not, if you're not just getting, not just OD, like, we'll call whoever to help you, but, like, if you're legit having a fight, whatever, like, fist fight, whatever, if you're doing all this stuff outside our store, we will call the police on you. I just want to let you know that. Like, you can't get away with everything. I promise that. If there's a camera there, you're not going to get away with it. Even in the restroom, though, like, we don't have cameras there, but we know what you're doing. So, just a tip on that. But, also, just a side note, if you are getting robbed, do not try to be a hero. Please don't. They're not going to shoot you. Most of the time, I don't think they would. A lot of them just want the money, but don't try to be a hero. Unless you actually have training, I wouldn't do it. I literally almost went into some sort of military branch after high school. I didn't do it, but if I had, I may have stood more of a chance. But, I mean, just don't try it. And especially if there's multiple people, definitely don't try it. Unless multiple of you know how to actually fight back and get out of that situation. But most of the time, don't be a hero. and get help. Yeah, that too. But oh, another secret too is, you know how we have the free water cups? We're not gonna get on you if you get some other drink. We really aren't. Like, to us, it's not our store. We just work there. Literally, like, if you want to get yourself a Sprite, a Gatorade, Powerade, whatever the heck you want to get, a high C, like, do it, man. But another thing too, in the interview though, if you actually wear glasses, I guess, unless you can, I don't know if I said this before, but unless you can just convince them afterwards that, oh, I just now got glasses because I realized I needed glasses, they can't fire you for that. But you most likely want to wear your glasses in the interview. That way they know what they're dealing with. And it doesn't seem like you're lying to them or whatever. I don't know. I do know all that stuff, but would I ever go back to working there? No. I don't think I could. I think out of 5 stars, I would rate that probably with the experience, with having someone who, like, was actually a fun person to work around who made it more fun. I would say about 3 stars. 3 stars, I'd say it's about average. I mean, honestly, I could say it's 2.5 stars even, because it's not even that great. But with the manager I had and my coworker I had, it was alright. It was alright. I wouldn't go back to their job. It's not my favorite one of all the jobs that I've had. But it's alright. It's something that I had to do while, like, I just moved to Lexington. I had to pay rent. I literally just had to find any job, and that's what I did. So, I'm not going to work fast food for the rest of my life. At least that's what I'm saying now. But, if you get a chance to work there, just take the advice that I've given you and use it. Really do use it, because honestly, like it could help you. I really hope it does help you, and if it does, please post in the comments what you know about Arby's. If you worked there before or whatever, if you have some sort of knowledge that I don't know about, like literally, like, you know, tell everyone in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. But anyway, guys, that is it. This has been Behind the Sandwich, Behind the Scenes series. Anyway, guys, I will see you all later. This is your boy, Will the Thrilla from the Villa saying bye, have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye.